Let me ask you, how many of you are wearing a mask here today? 1, 2, 3? Or perhaps should I say, everybody? The face mask, I'm not talking about that. I am talking about the mask that you never took off. Now to start off, what comes to your mind when you hear the word genuine? Right? It will be the meaning, of course, to be truly of what is said to be, or to be authentic and sincere. Well, to me, society is built up of public faces, one that you'd wear around strangers, all in order to be inoffensive or to avoid public conflict, or in a much simpler term, fake. Now, this has become apparent to me. Even as a kid, from a young age, we are immediately met with this sense of hierarchy. And so there is a quote that has stuck to me, said by a character from a particular series I really liked. And it is titled, "My youth romantic comedy is wrong, as I expected." This follows Hikigaya Hachiman, our pessimistic but pragmatic teenager who views youth and those who try to fit in as superficial. And he stated that fake people have an image to maintain, but real people just don't care. In a way, it is better to be hated for who you are than to be loved for what you are not. There is an image of us that is only dictated by others, and we keep our true self to ourselves. In this society, it is much difficult to open up due to fear of becoming socially outcast or losing your placement in society. And we humans in general are just really egoistic, you and I. We take what we call a compromise, a way to drift off from what we truly wanted. Let's say you have your crush or the person you fall in love with, for example, and to you, they meant the world. And eventually, you built up this courage and you asked them out, and they flat out rejected you. Now you are left heartbroken. You sit down just wondering and pondering just what went wrong. You come across thousands of thoughts and solutions and conclusions, like the overthinker you are, just to how you'd ruin a 3-year friendship with those 3 big words. And eventually, you think to yourself, soon enough, did I really even like this person? He or she wasn't really my type, maybe now that I think about it. And eventually, maybe, just maybe, you'd get over it. This is a defense mechanism that represents our human nature and the protection of our ego. But for one instance, for that one moment, you must have really thought, man, that was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in the world. And you may have even changed yourself just to be noticed by that one person. You made yourself in a way you think is best to fit with that person. That is just the way people are, always hiding their true feelings, always protected by these walls. Changing yourself is just the same way as running away from who you really are, isn't it? Why couldn't we just accept who we are? I have been surrounding myself with lots and lots of people throughout the years, and I would be lying to you if I said that I could see everyone's true self. And I would be lying to you if I told you that I was fully sincere and genuine. There have been countless interactions I've had where I felt a new bond was forged in the moment. But given a few days, it all ends in us, just walking past each other as if we've never even spoken to one another. And that was when I accepted that all I needed was that one person, or even that small group of people I could truly call my friends. Because sometimes you just feel lonely, even in a crowd. We do not know whether or not we surround ourselves with our closest friends and think, we are only getting along because of how our public faces get along. To know each other is one thing, but to understand each other is another. Now, listen, it is impossible not to hurt someone. Whether you live or you die, whether you laugh or you cry, whether you like it or not, somebody is going to be hurt simply by your existence. And regardless in how things go forward, our actions will lead someone to be hurt and sad. But a great mistake many make is this desire to make sure no one gets hurt, even if it meant having to sacrifice themselves. One may call this an act of kindness. And we always wait for kindness. We stray far from the truth. Because if to be truthful is to be cruel, then surely to lie must be an act of kindness. So let me tell you that if you ever find someone who is willing to be brutally honest with you, even if it meant hurting you, you may have just found the real deal. Now, to search for something genuine can come in many shapes and forms. And there is an interesting short story I have read regarding this. And it is titled, The Gift of the Magi. It was written by William Sidney Porter, or more commonly known by his pen name, O. Henry. This story was about a couple, a husband and a wife. The husband, Jim, and the wife, Della. You see, the wife, Della, wanted to buy her husband a gift, but right just the day before Christmas Eve, she only had $1.87 remaining. $20 a week was not much after all. And so, let me tell you that the husband and the wife both have two things that they possess of value. And that was first, the husband. He has a golden watch that was inherited from his father. And right before that, long ago, inherited from his father's father. So it has its value. And next was the mother, Della. She had the most beautiful hair, more beautiful than any queen's jewelry. But now that she didn't have any money, she thought of herself, what if I cut off my hair and sell it off? And that's when after selling, she found a chain to match with Jim's golden watch. Now she had finally gotten the money, but she had cut off her hair. And so she had gotten home, and she was terribly afraid, anxiously waiting for her husband to come back home, not knowing whether or not she will still be loved just the same, but with shorter hair. And so as the husband arrived home, he had a rather odd look in his face. He was neither mad, nor surprised, nor anything Della had ever expected. But then he went to the table before dinner, and he showed her a gift, also for Christmas. It were combs. Just the type with jewels that Della could only ever dream of buying, with her face glued across the window in hopes to ever buy it. And now, she jumped in glee, because even though she was given a comb that she couldn't use after cutting her hair, she knew her hair would grow back. And so she hugged the husband. But however, she jumped in glee and then she told Jim, please, take out your watch. I would like to show you my gift to reciprocate from what you've done just for me. But the watch was no longer found. The husband, Jim, had sold his most precious, valuable watch, all in order to buy these combs just for his wife. Now both are left with gifts that could be of no use. But that is not the importance of the story. The reason why O. Henry's written The Gift of the Magi was to indicate that true love was more important than money or materialistic possessions. The thought and action to sacrifice oneself unconditionally for the sake of somebody else was what made the relationship truly genuine. Now, to connect with others is that vulnerability. You may not always like what you see, but you accept each other, no matter what pain you go through. And that pain and suffering you go through just means it was something genuine. It was the real thing. And so we must keep searching.